Medicine Hat has been known as the gas city, with sunny days and a low cost of living. These days, the Hat, as locals often call it, still has the natural gas wells and clear summer skies. It really is a gateway to Alberta and a destination for many. After the multi-year reign of former Mayor Ted Cluxton, the people of the gas city elected Linnsie Clark last fall. Mayor Clark joins me now from her office in Medicine Hat. Mayor Clark, thank you for joining me today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Now, since you've been in office, what have you heard from citizens regarding major priorities to tackle?
Well, we had the advantage of completing our strategic plan just after an election where we heard loud and clear from the community. That strategic plan reflects what we heard, and it's partly, making sure that we're taking care of our vulnerable populations within the city. That, obviously benefits our community as a whole. And, I think a lot of communities are experiencing a lot of challenges right now, economic challenges with mental health, and of course, the housing issues that are happening right now. And so we want to make sure that all of those issues are on the table, and we're progressing within our community with our community partners to address those issues. We also heard from our community that they wanted a better interface with the city. So we really want to focus on communication with our community and, of course, within our organization as well, to make sure that, not only do people love living here, but if they're working for the City of Medicine Hat, they love working for the City of Medicine Hat too.
Great. Now, what are some of the obstacles that you see that maybe you didn't see before you took this position?
Well, the job of mayor is a big job, as is every councillor, and we're experiencing a very difficult time with the supply chain issues, inflation. I mean, that had started during the election, so we did have a sense of that, but I'm not sure that anyone could have predicted how prolonged that would be, and that's having an impact both on the city's finances with the cost of supplies and everything that a city needs to run, but also on the citizens of Medicine Hat. So we're simultaneously experiencing difficult time in our economy as inflation is going up, and the supply chain issues are making it difficult for some aspects of the economy to restart. So we're hoping to see at least the supply chain issues resolve in the next while here, and definitely hoping that the steps of the federal government regarding inflation have an impact.
Now, this is your first term as mayor, and you must have a great team around you. Do you feel that as a city administration, you and the city council have been achieving your goals so far? And what are some of the successes you have seen?
So we have already started some initiatives. So we directed administration to start putting together an environmental framework, which is an important aspect of moving forward, especially as a municipality that owns its own electric and gas utilities. De-risking carbon is a hot topic, and with the increasing cost of carbon, we're looking to make sure that we're in a really good position moving forward with our electric utility and gas utility. Also, we just completed our strategic plan, and that's very exciting because that provides a roadmap for what we want to accomplish over the next four years, like for our term, but also even beyond that. And certainly some of those projects are going to take a little longer than others, but you can't finish unless you start.
Absolutely. And along with having a strong city council, as mayor, how important are community groups in helping you accomplish the goals of the city?
Very important. Community groups play such an important role in a city accomplishing its goals. We have a very involved community, and one of the aspects of our strategic plan is to make sure that where the community can take a leadership role on resolving issues or making things happen, we want to make sure that we're facilitating and empowering those community groups. So we have an amazing housing community here. Our Medicine Hat Community Housing Society has been, in the news, very active, and we're grateful to have an excellent partnership with them. One other really cool example is our skateboard association in the city, and the work that they've done to make skateboarding a real community in Medicine Hat, and fundraise to have integrated skate parks and a larger skate facility where we just had Beat the Heat competition at. It was just incredible. And it's just such a good example of how just empowering the people in your community to move forward with what they're passionate about can be so valuable.
Now, Mayor Clark, the city has had the new arena for several years now. Now that events are back on, does CoOp Place have a profitable future in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are hopeful that we are going to see an uptick in the cultural and artistic events that happen throughout the city. There's still a variety of restrictions across different municipalities, province, and states that are complicating entertainers trying to put together a tour circuit, but we are seeing good interest from entertainers eager to get back in front of audiences. And our sense is it'll be good for markets like Medicine Hat in terms of the variety of entertainers we might have an opportunity to host. So although we're still seeing a bit of market tentativeness there, we are seeing it ease a little bit.
And Medicine Hat is a growing city, and with growth comes controversy at times. There was a bit of controversy over the new property and with the old arena space as well. Are there redevelopment plans for the old arena?
So the land sale for the old arena site is pending. So while we wait for the new developer to meet certain conditions, as far as what will ultimately be at that location, new developments will be subject to zoning approvals that council will need to consider.
And can you talk a bit about how tourism is an important part of Medicine Hat's economy?
Yes, and before I do that, I want to recognize that we have an incredible destination marketing organization here, and they've done exceptional work to, even throughout COVID, make sure that people understood the value of the tourism opportunities we had right here when we were, all quarantined. We still had opportunities within Medicine Hat to do little staycations, and with summer 2022, we are back to in-person events. And later this summer, we're going to be having a Porch Fest, which is Medicine Hat's newest festival, and that's just in its second year. And the Mywasson Friendship Center is going to be doing 2-story tours. We have the upcoming Stampede and the return of a favorite summer event, the Parade, which will be my first year participating in that, actually in the parade as mayor. I had the opportunity to participate in Redcliffe's parade earlier this year, and it was really fun. I sat with the Reeve of Cypress County and the mayor of Redcliffe in a really beautiful convertible. So it was a really good time. All of our tourism opportunities do bring opportunities for people to come and visit. We had as I mentioned, we had the Beat the Heat skateboarding competition. We had a hot air balloon festival, which brings people from all over to enjoy what Medicine Hat has to offer. And we also are having a seniors PGA championship this year, which is very exciting at our Connaught Golf Course.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, are there older parts of the city, maybe like Riverside, that could be a candidate to see new developments? Maybe it's not just residential areas, but also businesses or redeveloped schools?
Yeah, so one of the elements of our strategic plan is to focus on infill and brownfield development. So we want to make sure that as a city, we're not putting any additional barriers to infill development. And where possible, we're incentivizing. So we just recently passed last night, we just passed a tax incentive bylaw that one element is in there is for brownfield redevelopment. So that's very exciting. Certainly, we want to maximize the infrastructure that's already within the city, and the older, like that, we have the hill and the flats and Riverside, and they're all such beautiful neighborhoods. And even just creating a secondary suite, or altering a beautiful old home into an office space or a work live situation, we want to make sure that we're using all of the levers that we have to kind of encourage that type of increased density and growth.
One of the stories we have covered in the past on Bridge City News was a problem with young men committing suicide in the Gas City. How has that been addressed?
Well, it's ongoing. That's a long-term solution. We have to, again, work with our community, bring all kinds of different groups with different ideas together to ensure that, we understand the root cause of that, and we're moving forward to address it. It's not something that's going to be solved overnight. It's a tragic situation, and it probably in part has to do with economic factors. COVID saw a lot of people in isolation. It's not one thing, and I think there's no one size fits all solution, but we will continue to work with our community partners, facilitating, empowering, bringing them together, because that's something that no community wants to see, and the ripple effect that has on families and neighbors is tremendous. And it's definitely something that this council is dedicated to, working and making sure that we're finding the right path forward to find solutions.
And then the other question I want to ask is about the transportation corridors in your area. Can you talk a bit about the twinning of Highway 3 and how that would benefit Medicine Hat area?
Yeah, so we have a Councillor Darren Hirsch, who sits on the Highway Twinning Committee, and we are actually there retaining PricewaterhouseCoopers to complete a study to study the economic footprint on the twinning, the remaining sections of Highway 3 in Alberta. So that study will consist of two components, one being the estimation of the direct and indirect economic and tax footprint that twinning is expected to create. And the other part of the study consists of identifying and assessing wider socioeconomic impacts of twinning. So that study, the association expects a draft later this summer with a final report by fall. So when that comes up, I'd love to chat again and tell you the exact details of the economic and socioeconomic impacts.
And what about the airport? There's been a lot of development of the lands around the airport. How do you see this development helping your corner of the province?
Well, we are fortunate to have a municipal airport, and we definitely want to look to maximize its utilization. And obviously, that with any kind of commercial industrial development, that not only brings in tax revenue for the city, it provides jobs for local residents. And as much as possible, we can do secondary services for some of the industry we already have in Medicine Hat, and create that horizontal integration. But we're looking forward to building it out and providing opportunity for people in Medicine Hat and for people to move to Medicine Hat.
Mayor Clark, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
That was Medicine Hat Mayor Linnsie Clark joining me today. I'm Naveen Day. On behalf of all of us here at Bridge City News, thanks for watching.